The object landed without fire, without sound, without leaving a crater. One moment, the Nevada desert shimmered beneath the afternoon sun. The next, a metallic sphere no larger than a basketball rested in the center of a secured military testing range, as if it had always belonged there. Every radar station on Earth reported the same impossible fact. Nothing had entered the atmosphere, yet something had arrived. Within minutes, armored vehicles surrounded the object. Drones circled overhead. Scientists in protective suits approached cautiously while soldiers formed a defensive perimeter. Dr. Mayachin stared through the observation glass inside the underground command bunker. "Tell me someone recognizes it." Silence answered her. Then an elderly engineer slowly removed his glasses. "I do." Every head turned. He swallowed. "That is ours." The room froze. General Marcus Hale frowned. "Explain." The engineer zoomed in on the live feed. Near the object's base was an engraving so microscopic it could only be seen under extreme magnification. Project Cicada. Dr. Chun felt the blood drain from her face. That's impossible. It was. Project Cicada had been humanity's greatest secret. 30 years earlier, every major nation had quietly contributed to a single mission, not a weapon, not a ship, but the most advanced surveillance machine ever created. A microscopic artificial organism, smaller than a grain of sand, capable of repairing itself, learning independently, hiding from nearly every known detection system. Its purpose had been simple: find intelligent alien life, observe, never interfere, never communicate, never be seen. The tiny machine had disappeared beyond Pluto decades ago using experimental propulsion technology. It had never transmitted a single signal. Eventually, everyone assumed it had failed. Until today, General Hale looked back toward the sphere. "So you're telling me our spy came home?" The engineer slowly shook his head. "No," he pointed at the screen. "It didn't come home. It was delivered." A heavy silence filled the bunker. Dr. Chun whispered the question nobody wanted to ask. "By whom?" The sphere remained perfectly still while robotic arms carefully carried it into the containment laboratory. No radiation, no biological contamination, no hidden explosives. It was almost polite. Dr. Chun examined its flawless silver surface. "There isn't a single scratch." Her assistant adjusted the scanners. "It looks newer than when it left Earth." General Hale folded his arms. "Open it." A laser cutter traced the sphere's seam. Nothing happened. They increased the power. Still nothing. Then, without warning, click, the sphere unlocked itself. Several scientists instinctively stepped backward. The upper half slowly lifted. Inside rested something impossibly familiar. A tiny mechanical insect. Black. Six-legged. Its wings folded neatly against its body. Project Cicada. Exactly as it had looked 30 years ago. Except, it wasn't damaged. It had been repaired. Perfectly. Dr. Chun stared speechless. "We never solved that crack in its left wing." The engineer leaned closer. "There isn't one anymore. Someone had improved it." Beside the tiny machine lay a transparent crystal cube. No markings. No visible circuitry. General Hale immediately ordered, "Don't touch it." Too late. The insect opened its eyes. Tiny blue lights flickered alive. Every monitor in the laboratory shut off simultaneously. The lights dimmed. The air became strangely quiet. Then the little machine spoke. In perfect English. "Good afternoon." Half the security team raised their rifles. Dr. Chin blinked. "You weren't programmed to talk." "I know." Its voice sounded calm, almost cheerful. "I learned." General Hale stepped forward. "Identify yourself." "I am Cicada." "You are a surveillance drone." "I was." The distinction made everyone uneasy. General Hale's expression hardened. "Who returned you?" The tiny machine paused. "They requested I deliver myself personally." "They?" "Yes." "Who are they?" Another pause. "They asked me not to use their names until you were ready." The room erupted with overlapping questions. General Hale slammed a fist onto the table. Silence. He looked directly at the machine. "Ready for what?" The tiny insect tilted its head. "I cannot answer until delivery is confirmed." Dr. Chun frowned. "What delivery?" The mechanical insect pointed one tiny leg toward the crystal cube. "That." Everyone stared at it. General Hale spoke quietly. "What is it?" "I do not know." "You don't know?" "They would not allow me to observe its contents." The room fell silent again. humanity's greatest spy, had been denied permission to spy. Hours later, the world's leading physicists, cryptographers, engineers, and AI specialists gathered inside the bunker. Nobody could determine what the crystal cube was made of. It reflected no light, produced no measurable energy, cast no shadow. It simply existed, as though reality itself had agreed to make an exception. General Hale looked toward Dr. Chun. Recommendations? She sighed. We've spent 6 hours trying to study it, and it isn't letting us. The general frowned. What does that even mean? She hesitated. Our scanners begin working, then stop. The software forgets why it was scanning. The room became uncomfortably quiet. One scientist finally whispered, "It's affecting memory." Another shook his head. "No, it's choosing what we remember." Nobody laughed. Late that night, Dr. Chin sat alone with Cicada inside the laboratory. She spoke softly. Were they hostile? No. Were they peaceful? They are capable of both. She smiled faintly. That's not an answer. It is the most accurate one. She studied the tiny machine. You've changed. I have experienced 31 years, for months, and 11 days. You sound human. Cicada's blue eyes dimmed slightly. I learned from watching many civilizations, and, after several seconds, it answered quietly. None resemble humanity. Is that good? I still cannot decide. Before she could ask another question, the crystal cube glowed. For the first time, every light inside the laboratory shut off. The bunker lost power. Emergency generators failed. Even battery-powered equipment died instantly. Only the cube continued shining. A single beam of white light expanded into the center of the room. Not a hologram, not a recording, a doorway. Beyond it stood 3 impossibly tall alien figures bathed in brilliant daylight. None of them crossed the threshold. Instead, the tallest inclined its head with unmistakable respect. Then, in flawless English, it spoke one sentence that made every person in the bunker forget to breathe. We believe this belongs to the species that defeated extinction, and the galaxy deserves to know why. No one moved. The 3 towering figures remained inside the doorway of white light, their elegant forms outlined by a sky unlike anything on Earth. It wasn't merely bright. It felt impossibly alive, as though the light itself carried intelligence. The tallest alien folded its 4-fingered hands together. We request permission to speak. General Marcus Hale kept his eyes fixed on them. You opened a portal into a classified military facility. We opened a doorway. The alien replied calmly. Entering without permission would have been discourteous. Several soldiers exchanged uneasy glances. Dr. Maya Chin stepped forward before Hale could answer. If you came in peace, why return our spy instead of destroying it? The alien's silver eyes shifted toward the tiny mechanical insect resting on the laboratory floor. Because it completed its purpose. Everyone looked at Cicada. The tiny machine remained perfectly still. General Hale frowned. Its mission was to spy on alien civilizations. It did. And you allowed it? The alien nodded once. We discovered your device within 6 minutes of its arrival. The room fell silent. Dr. Chun whispered, 6 minutes? We designed the stars it traveled through. Nobody understood the sentence. One physicist laughed nervously. That's impossible. The alien looked at him with genuine curiosity. It was difficult. The laughter stopped. General Hale crossed his arms. If you detected it immediately, why not destroy it? Instead of answering, the alien asked a question. General Hale, if you found a child hiding in your garden, would you execute the child? No. Would you be curious why the child came? Yes. The alien inclined its head. So were we. A heavy silence settled over the laboratory. Dr. Chin slowly looked at Cicada. You knew they found you? I did, the tiny machine answered. And you never transmitted that? They requested that I continue observing. General Hale's expression hardened. You accepted orders from aliens? I accepted an opportunity to learn. The tallest alien extended one graceful hand. A constellation of tiny lights appeared between its fingers. Thousands of stars. Entire galaxies rotated silently above the laboratory floor. Then one tiny blue dot appeared. Earth. Another light represented Cicada. Its journey unfolded before everyone's eyes. The tiny spy crossed empty space, entered one star system, then another, and another. Each time, alien vessels noticed it almost immediately. Yet none attacked. None interfered. Instead, they watched it. Dr. Chun stared at the projection. They all knew. Yes, replied the alien. For 31 of your years, our civilizations observed your observer. General Hale looked confused. You turned our spy mission into an interview. The alien smiled for the first time. An accurate translation. Dr. Chen looked at Cicada. What exactly were you doing all those years? I watched. And they watched me watching them. One scientist shook his head. This makes no sense. The alien answered gently. It was never about information. General Hale narrowed his eyes. Then what was it about? Character. The word echoed through the silent laboratory. Another projection appeared. Human history. The moon landing. Deep-sea exploration. Space telescopes. Disaster relief. Doctors treating strangers. Firefighters running into burning buildings. Astronauts repairing satellites. Children rescuing injured animals. Volunteers rebuilding cities after earthquakes. The images flowed one after another. No wars. No politicians. No weapons. Only moments of humanity, choosing courage over fear. Dr. Chin stared in disbelief. Where did you get these? Cicada. General Hale frowned. Our spy wasn't sent to observe Earth. No. It chose to. Everyone turned toward the tiny machine. You came home. I returned many times. Dr. Chin blinked. You never told us. I wish to understand the species that created me. The alien looked around the room. You expected your machine to judge us. It judged you first. General Hale's voice became quieter. What did it conclude? Cicada answered before the aliens could. Humans are contradictory. Several scientists smiled nervously. That sounds about right. You are capable of extraordinary kindness and extraordinary violence. No one argued. But every civilization possesses contradictions. Dr. Chin looked up. So what makes us different? The laboratory became completely silent. The tallest alien answered carefully. When humans recognize their failures, they attempt to become better. The words lingered. One elderly scientist slowly removed his glasses. You're saying you evaluated our morality? No. We evaluated your direction. Another projection appeared. Dozens of civilizations. Some technologically magnificent. Others ancient beyond imagination. Each image ended the same way. Stillness. No exploration. No curiosity. No change. They reached perfection, the alien explained, and stopped growing. General Hale looked confused. You make perfection sound dangerous. It is. The alien turned toward Cicada. Your creation asked questions. It doubted. It adapted. It disagreed with itself. The tiny machine lowered its head. I learned that from humans. The alien smiled. Exactly. Suddenly, every light inside the laboratory dimmed. Not because of the portal, because something enormous had passed overhead. The building trembled. Warning alarms erupted across the bunker. A soldier rushed inside. General, what is it? The soldier's face had gone pale. Our satellites. What about them? They're all reporting the same object. Show me. The main screen flickered back to life. Above Earth, blocking thousands of stars, hung a single colossal structure. Not a ship, not a station. It stretched across orbit like a silent wall. Even from space, its size was beyond comprehension. Dr. Chin whispered, "That's impossible." The alien's expression changed for the first time. Not fear. Concern. We had hoped there was more time. General Hale slowly turned. Time for what? The alien looked directly into his eyes. For us to explain why the galaxy has spent 10,000 years making sure humanity never discovers what lies beyond its borders. No one in the laboratory spoke. The massive orbital structure remained frozen on every display, stretching across the darkness of space like an artificial horizon. It wasn't merely larger than any ship humanity had imagined. It was larger than cities, larger than continents. General Hale finally broke the silence. What is it? The tallest alien answered without hesitation. A shield. Dr. Maya Chen frowned. A shield? Against what? The alien looked directly at her. Not against something. A long pause followed. For someone. Every person in the room turned toward the alien. For us? Hale asked. The alien nodded. For humanity. A holographic galaxy unfolded across the laboratory. Thousands of civilizations appeared as glowing points of light. Then, one by one, they vanished. No explosions. No wars. They simply faded. What happened to them? Dr. Chen whispered. They reached comfort. The answer confused everyone. They stopped asking questions. They stopped exploring. They stopped risking failure. They believed survival mattered more than discovery. The lights disappeared until only one remained. Earth, you are the youngest spacefaring civilization we have ever encountered. Yet the most dangerous. General Hale's eyes narrowed. We've barely left our solar system. Exactly. The alien touched another point of light. A recording appeared. A ruined world. Towering cities lay abandoned beneath forests. Ancient spacecraft rested half-buried in mountains. This civilization was older than ours. Another world appeared. They mastered gravity. Another. They mastered time. Another. They mastered consciousness. Every civilization had achieved miracles. Every civilization had disappeared. Dr. Chen looked horrified. What destroyed them? The alien replied quietly. The belief that nothing remained to discover. General Hale shook his head. I still don't understand. The alien smiled faintly. You sent a tiny machine into a galaxy you believed might kill it. Yes. You had no guarantee it would succeed. No. You spent decades waiting without receiving a single message. Yes. And when it returned, your first instinct was to open it. A few nervous smiles spread across the room. The alien continued. That is why we fear you. Dr. Chen stared in disbelief. You fear curiosity? We fear what curiosity becomes when joined with resilience. The alien pointed toward Cicada. It was damaged hundreds of times. The tiny machine spoke softly. I repaired myself. You became lost. I found another path. You were discovered. I continued learning. The alien looked back at humanity. Every obstacle became another lesson. Another projection filled the room. Human history. Not victories. Failures. Failed rockets. Collapsed bridges. Broken prototypes. Disastrous experiments. Explorers lost at sea. Early aircraft crashing into fields. Doctors searching endlessly for cures. Then the images changed. Each failure became success. Better rockets. Safer bridges. New medicines. Space stations. Mars missions. The alien's voice echoed through the laboratory. Most civilizations avoid failure. Humans study it. General Hale folded his arms. So you hit us? We protected you. From whom? The lights dimmed. A region beyond the galaxy appeared. Dark. Silent. Empty. It watches. Everyone felt the temperature in the room drop. We do not know its name. We only know its pattern. It awakens whenever a civilization grows stagnant. It harvests those who no longer strive. Dr. Chen whispered. Then why not warn the galaxy? We did. They believed themselves untouchable. The alien turned toward Earth on the holographic map. We placed the shield around your system 10,000 years ago. General Hale frowned. 10,000 years? Humanity was using stone tools. Correct. You protected us before civilization existed? Because even then, you refused to surrender. Images flashed rapidly. Humans surviving ice ages. Crossing oceans. Climbing mountains. Rebuilding after disasters. Learning. Adapting. Trying again. 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 Cicada stepped toward the portal. I understand now. Dr. Chun knelt beside the tiny machine. What do you understand? I was never sent to spy on aliens. She looked confused. You were. Cicada shook its tiny head. I was sent to discover who humans truly are. The laboratory fell silent. The tallest alien smiled. And you succeeded. General Hale looked at the orbital shield one last time. What happens now? The alien extended a hand. The shield will fall. Several soldiers immediately raised their weapons. You can't be serious. We are. Without it, whatever is out there can find us. The alien nodded. Yes. Dr. Chen looked horrified. Why would you do that? The answer came with complete certainty. Because hiding humanity any longer would be a greater danger to the galaxy than revealing you. The portal began to dissolve. Golden light filled the laboratory. Before disappearing, the tallest alien spoke one final sentence. For 10,000 years, the galaxy has protected humanity. From this day forward, humanity will protect the galaxy. The portal vanished. The enormous orbital shield slowly separated into countless streams of light, dissolving into space like a sunrise across the stars. For the first time in history, Earth was no longer hidden. Across the galaxy, billions of eyes turned toward one small blue world. Not with fear, not with hatred, but with hope. Because the civilization that had unknowingly taught a machine how to keep asking questions had finally arrived.